Hey guys, welcome back to another one. And this one is going to be about Bitcoin and the future of Bitcoin. It might be brighter than some people think, or it might be along the same path that some people think. I know for me personally, originally when I first started getting into cryptocurrency, the only thing I knew was Bitcoin. So I thought it was really the only coin that mattered. The more I started to learn about it, and then I learned about Ethereum, Cardano, and a whole bunch of other altcoins. But now I've kind of shifted my focus back to the importance of Bitcoin, not only because it decides where the altcoin market goes up or down, the entire cryptocurrency market in general, but I think the future, it might be different than I originally anticipated. And I think this article is a good indication of why that's so. So I'll kind of read a little bit. This one is about Square. And Square, the CEO, Jack Dorsey, he also made Cash App, if you're familiar with that, and recently bought Tidal. But he posted a bunch of tweets here recently. But the overall article, it's on CoinDesk. It says Square to create new Bitcoin platform for financial services. CEO Jack Dorsey tweeted the still to be named division's primary focus would be nothing but Bitcoin. And I'll kind of go over those tweets here in a second. From Jack Dorsey, Square is creating a new business joining Seller, Cash App, and Tidal, focused on building an open developer platform with the sole goal of making it easy to create non-custodial, permissionless, and decentralized financial services. Our primary focus is Bitcoin. Doesn't have a name yet. Names to be determined. And then a secondary tweet, he says, like our new Bitcoin hardware wallet, which they announced, I believe, earlier this past week, that they're going to create a hardware wallet, which if you watch my previous videos, it's a wallet where you can take all of your cryptocurrency off of the exchanges like Coinbase or, Cash App, because you can buy Bitcoin there, and then you can store it as they call cold storage, where it's not connected to the internet 24/7, and hackers can't continuously try and hack into and take your cryptocurrency. Anyway, like their new Bitcoin hardware wallet, we're going to do this completely in the open roadmap, open development, and open source. So they're leading and building a team, and they have some ideas around the initial platform primitives they want to build. So this kind of brings me back to my point of Bitcoin in the future. So I know a lot of people, if you've done a little bit of research, know there's a bunch of altcoins out there. Ethereum, it's similar to the internet, where you can build decentralized apps on top of it, and a whole bunch of other things. Cardano is improving upon that as well. But Bitcoin initially was created as a store of value. But I think countries, companies, people, they're kind of taking Bitcoin and they are adding to it more so than its initial purpose. And that was a lot of the purpose of a lot of these altcoins or alternative coins. They like what Bitcoin started with, but they're starting to improve on that. And that was some of their main purposes, like Bitcoin's slow and chunky. So Bitcoin kind of had an offshoot called Bitcoin Cash. And as we kind of know the differences between that, here's a quick article. Bitcoin, has a max of 7 approximately transactions per second. A lot of the original Bitcoin max on this, they weren't necessarily happy with that. So they wanted to create something with more transactions per second. If Bitcoin was to become, more user-friendly, used on a day-to-day basis, so they forked Bitcoin and made Bitcoin Cash. So they upped the storage block limit from 1 megabyte to 32 megabytes. And by doing so, they were able to go from 7 transactions per second to a little over 100 transactions per second. Still nowhere close to Visa or MasterCard, but, it's heading in the right direction. But that kind of takes me to the next step. Bitcoin, it's still here, and instead of just making forks like Bitcoin Cash, and then they made another fork called Bitcoin Silver, but either way, I think developers are starting to build on top of Bitcoin They're doing layer 2 solutions, which is just another fancy way to say build on top of Bitcoin, where they can make it even faster. So they have this Lightning Network now, and that's what El Salvador is kind of implementing in their country, so that there is more than 7 transactions per second. The Lightning Network is not fully operable yet, and I read some articles where there's between a couple hundred transactions per second to a couple thousand transactions per second with the Lightning Network. So by building on top of Bitcoin and putting these layer 2 solutions on top of the original Bitcoin chain, and then maybe layer 3 and layer 4, by building on top of the original code, they're able to make Bitcoin, have more utility than its initial purpose, which kind of goes back to this initial article of Jack Dorsey. We're not exactly sure what he wants to do yet, but I think Bitcoin will have more utility in the future than just a store of value. So it's become a little bit more than digital gold by El Salvador, making it a legal currency. It's now a currency, so it's traded on a day-to-day basis. So it has a store of value, it has a currency. So I'm kind of curious what Jack Dorsey is going to or sees for the future of Bitcoin. What do you guys think? What other utilities can Bitcoin have in the future? Can they continue to develop on top of it to make it something similar to Ethereum? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Until next time, make sure to like, subscribe if you're into this content. And if you have any other coins that you would like me to review, feel free to let me know there. And I'll see you guys next time.